Howdy, it's Tubalcain again, and welcome to this episode of This and That. And I hope I'm not boring you here with my auction finds and so on. Somebody says, we don't want to hear what you bought. They have no interest in that, but some of you like it. So anyway, I bought 4 toolboxes, and I bought this Craftsman extra long one. I really like this, but I thought it was a Kennedy box, and somebody says, no, these aren't Kennedy. The Craftsman are Waterloo or some other brand, but they're still well made. But the pulls are identical to the Kennedy, so I just assumed that it was a Kennedy, but I guess not. But in perfect shape. I didn't get these cheap though. I paid dearly for them, I'm sorry to say, but this one really is going to replace this battered one, and the bottom drawer on this does not open right. It's the slides are shot. So I got those, that unit, and over here this bottom unit is a Kennedy. Bought that and already put it into use here, and it's on top of another Kennedy box, but I didn't have that riser. I love those risers. Now, you know, I never met a man that had enough toolboxes. I guess I'm one of them. Then I bought these 2 units at the same sale, but all of these were purchased separately. They weren't together. I had a bid on them as independent units, but there's a nice shorty Kennedy box, and then a riser for that, so that's going to be a welcome addition to trying to organize my tools. Now when I just lifted this box into place here up kind of high, I noticed it's quite heavy, and I haven't looked inside it yet, so it's real cold out today. I think I'll go in the house and I'll open that up, and we'll have a little unveiling to see what's in those drawers, because maybe there's some tools in there. It's mighty heavy. I brought this Kennedy box into the house because it's cold outside, but it sure seemed heavy when I was carrying it from the garage, so I'm wondering if there's stuff in the drawers, but those all look empty. I have to open the top and see if there's something in there. Well, I opened the lid of the box and look what was in there. Well, of all things, it's my new grandson, 1-month-old Henry. How you doing, Henry? Oh, Henry! You know, I want to raise this kid right, so I'm going to start him reading micrometers here very soon. Hi, buddy. What does he weigh now, about 8 pounds? Mm-hmm. He's 8 pounds now. He was about 7 pounds, so, you know, I guess if Keith Fenner can come out of a toolbox, my grandson can too. I went to another auction the other day, since I bought the Kennedy boxes, and there was machine shop things there, including a small milling machine, which went for $1,700. I didn't even get a bid on it, and I don't need a milling machine anyway. I got one, but I bought all of the stock that they had. That this man, I think he died, but he was a machinist and a hobbyist, so he had all of this material. And I bought everything I'm going to show you here for $35, which I think was a real bargain, but well, it was more than I wanted to spend because I'm so cheap. I got this big ingot of aluminum here. Perfect for my foundry, however I have to saw it up. Notice how aluminum shrinks. That's what we're always dealing with when we pour castings is shrinkage. And the thicker it is, the more it shrinks. Whoops. And then this other aluminum, there's 2-inch, several 1-inch pieces. Nice block there, some more, and there's a very nice piece. And that's a pretty good chunk. I'm sure that would be $35 for that. Or more. And there's some angle, looks like 2-inch angle, and another piece of 2-inch angle also, but that's about 4 foot long. Extruded, of course. So that's it on the aluminum, but taking a look here at what I got in the way of steel now. Here's some tubing, machinable tubing, 3 sizes, and some flat stock, a lot more cold roll flat stock, very usable. I need a lot of that. And I think that's 2-inch. This piece of pipe here was still sealed in this box when I opened it up, and it's marked here. I still got the original packing slip, and there was a couple pieces inside of that, but it was about $40 plus shipping. 60 some altogether. Well, the really interesting thing here is, well, there's some more. That looks like about 1 1/8 inch, 1 1/4. Some more rod. And here was a box shipping tube that I had to cut open, and that looks like 2-inch square. That'll be very usable. And the other thing is, in this container here, I open it up, and this is 1 1/8 inch, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to throw that away. That is hot rolled steel. I hate hot rolled, but upon examining it more closely, I thought, what the heck? That could be cast iron. So I took it down on the clausing lathe and faced it off. That is cast iron in bar form. I am really excited about that. Very excited. Well, then I looked at these 2 blocks here, and also the finish on them is just horrible. That one's already been sawed. But I drilled just a little hole in that, cast iron. Also this big block, shoot, that must weigh 25 pounds, is cast iron. So I'm always looking for cast iron, because when you need a piece of that, I'd been sawing off pieces of engines and things like that, and they're always thin wall, and I couldn't do much with them. So this to me is a treasure trove, and I'm sure I won't live long enough to use it all, the same as the original purchaser. For $1 I bought a machine, and it was a disc sander, a homemade disc sander, and the disc came up through here where you see that shiny spot. So I thought, well, for $1, this is aluminum. These are pieces of aluminum. It's 3/8 thick, 6 inches wide, and there are 3 of them. And they're screwed onto some other aluminum angle here on the ends. So I'm going to unscrew them. I thought, well, that's a treasure trove of aluminum. I hate to think what that would cost. And seldom you see nice big pieces like that. So what I did is, outside the auction house, I just broke this off. The base was made out of wood. I just wiggled it and slammed it until the screws pulled out of the wood, and took just this aluminum and left the other lay, and there was a motor and an arbor and everything, and I gave it to a guy that was walking by. That's all I wanted. So, you know, when you go to auctions, you kind of watch for things like that. Buy a machine just for the motor or the cutting tool in it or something like that, if it's a piece of junk and you can get it cheap. Well, let's go down to the basement where it's warm. I'm back in the basement where it's toasty warm, and not to dwell on this because I've covered it in 2 videos already, but remember I talked about Craig Stevens here and this book and the wonderful job he did on this engine, and he was one of my dad's students. Well, I finally got an email from him. Somehow or another he saw the video, or somebody that he knew saw the video, and so now we're going to correspond, I hope. And he wrote me a long email, but on YouTube, search YouTube now for this model, Craig Stevens working model fire engine, and he's done a working model of a very old American LaFrance engine. It would have been the type pulled by horses with the boiler, and he did a beautiful job on that, and he said that it was so difficult that it made this thing look almost like a kindergarten project. So have a look at that and see the kind of work that man does, because he is a craftsman par excellence. And hello to you, Craig. You know, I guess this is my way of meeting you right here on good old YouTube. Let's take a look at a few new acquisitions here. I got this box of, or can of Casonite, a surface hardening compound, carburizing compound. Never been opened. It was in a box I was bidding on, and I got outbid, so I just approached the man and said, hey, I'll give you $5 for that yellow can. Well, what is it, he said. And I explained it, and he said, sure. I didn't want that anyway. I was going to throw it out. And I bought this cylinder gauge. I don't know if I should have or not, but it has a range of 700 thousandths up to 1.5 inches. And I do make some larger steam engines, and that might help me measuring those big bores. So hopefully I can put that to good use. I've got quite a few indicator holders, but I think I'm going to like this one with the articulated arm. It's not a Noga. It's strictly mechanical here in the movement, but it seems like it's going to be a very rigid one. And rigidity is what it's all about when you use an indicator. So I think that's going to be a good one. It's got a 1-inch indicator in there, a cheapie, but cheapies seem to be as good as the expensive ones as far as an indicator. Maybe not in the test indicators, but they're plenty close enough. Here's a box full of stuff. Now I didn't get that all in one lot. There was several lots, but I threw it into one box. Some stuff I'll never use. For instance, here is another surface finish comparator, Flex Bar brand, but it's made of plastic, not like that nice metal one I showed in another video. Here's a large Lufkin outside micron, or a caliper rather, along with a little bitty, elegant looking sterret. A set of boring bars with the 3/8 shank. I like these on the lathe as well. Very nice to use on the lathe. There's an edge finder. Why that thing is rusted up like that, I don't know. It looks like it must have been in the collet and that got something on it, moisture or whatever, but it's kind of rusty on that end. Might have to throw that one out. Pair of brand new 1, 2, 3 blocks, still in the protective oily coating. Radius gauges, I very seldom use them, and you know, there I'm kind of stuck with another set. Cheapies too. And the funny thing is, for years I had needed thread measuring wires, and I just did a video showing how to use these, but here's another set all of a sudden that I have along with the instructions. Probably never been used. There's a complete set of combination center drills. I've got many of these, but this is a Lufkin, and I sure do favor Lufkins because the men that worked on my very first machinist job were Lufkin users, and I don't know, it kind of got me started on it. Here's a vernier, not a dial. Probably never will use it. I'll keep that out in the garage maybe. 5C collet holder, hexagon. That'll come in handy. And in this box, I won't even open it, but that's an Interstate 1/8 inch ball end mill. That's about it for this episode, so be sure and watch it next time. Thanks for watching, and so long for now.